Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are all doing exceptionally well. I am really doing quite good. It is, well, we're back. You know, I had a really nice time recording the first few of these, so we're definitely keeping it going. It is leg day today, and I'm feeling very good. And in case you couldn't tell by the weather, it is gorgeous out here right now. Hoping that keeps up. Looks like it will. We've got blue skies just about as far as you can see. I can't see any clouds. But let's talk about today. So what have I learned from not the last week, 2 weeks ago when I did my first set of filming? First of all, my videos are very long. Now I think that's both a strength and a weakness, you know, longer form content, all that, but I do want to keep things a little bit more brief, so I'm going to hopefully cut the intros and the outros a little bit while I'm walking, even though I do enjoy them. So let's have a see, shall we? What have we got today? We're doing squats, hinges, or, you know, SLDLs, hamstring curls, and then some calf and ab work. So I think to cut this session down, we will we'll cut out the recording for the ab and the calf work potentially, or definitely the ab work, but maybe the calf work. Okay. Now that we've gotten admin out of the way, what are we doing today? Squats. I haven't seen any progress in my squats since, you know, start of the calorie deficit, which, by the way, we have basically finished. It is week 6 now, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, week 5 was tough. So I've called the calorie deficit in its kind of official capacity at the end of week 5 because I was eating a lot more food, to be quite honest with you, and that's okay. You know, I was really feeling it, Mr. Krabs, and, you know, you just take that in stride, you just do with that what you will. So we've technically finished, but the results are in, so I got down to 83.4 kilograms as of 5 weeks, which is insane work for me. I think I started around 87 or so. And I feel good, I look good, and I'm happy now. So I got this last week, and then we've got Comic-Con this weekend, so I may be able to film that, we're not sure, but that's okay. Regardless, work for today, squats, 127.5 kilograms, as we've been working on previously, for 4 reps if we can, because we've gotten that previously, but I failed it 3 reps last week, not that was recorded, but that was due to, you know, a bit of fatigue and injury more than anything else. This week I'm feeling a bit better, and also, you know, changing technique, moving away from those pause reps. So we'll see how that goes. For the SLDLs, I think we're doing like 115 for 5, I think is the aim. So that'll be really nice. For lying down hamstring curls, it'll be, I think, 55 for 5 is what we're looking for. Trying to get a good contraction out of that. For my plantar work, 16 kilograms for 2 reps is what I'm looking for, and for abs, 4 kilograms for 4 reps is what I'm looking for. What's the purpose of all of this? You guys already know. We're trying to get stronger, we're trying to get bigger. Main aims while doing this are to do a slow eccentric, explosive concentric. That's just standard, that's par for the course. But more importantly than that is anywhere I have an eccentric to a concentric, I'm really looking to cue myself to power out of that eccentric and into the concentric. Not looking to bounce, that's a very different thing, but I'm looking to have a really strong transition period. Not that I'm changing gender. That's basically it. Really excited for that. Again, Comic-Con is this weekend. I've done a full cosplay test of my Clive Rossfield cosplay. The sword obviously still is broken, but we're going to bring the hilt with us, I think, and I look incredible. It looks so good. I'm really excited for Comic-Con, so if you guys are at Birmingham, I will have seen you there, because this will be coming out after that. But yeah, I'm really excited. I don't think there's really anything else we want to talk about at the moment, so when we get in there, it's going to be warming up our squats, and hopefully aiming for that 4 to 5 reps. If I can get 4 reps, that means I'm back on track. If I get 5 reps, it means I've actually cracked the boundary, so that's really exciting. Either way, let's get into the gym, let's get moving, let's get some PBs. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the middle of our warm-up for squats. I'm very happy with my bottom end mobility at the moment. Main thing I need to work on now, just while we're warming up, is slow eccentric into that drive. That's where I currently lack a lot of my technical ability. So that's where we're going to be working. So it's, you know, it's a bit of unexplored territory for me, you know, that transition, but we'll see. Again, I'm not changing from male to female. I'm talking about eccentric to concentric. Currently we have 220s on each side of the bar, so 40, 80, 100 kilograms on the bar total with the bar, obviously not 80 kilograms on the bar, 100 kilograms with the bar. We're gonna see if we can get some good transitions. Hell yeah. Again, I've got a few injuries here, you know, left side mainly hip and ankle, but also my right side like hamstring. So we're gonna see how we feel about that. My left side specifically, I can feel a lot when I do this, I feel sensation, but I know it's due to my stance. I know my stance is slightly staggered, which I'm trying to rectify, which is why this specifically is so good. I hear something beeping, but I think it's so we're gonna load on rest of our warm-up weight, which will be a set of 10s, if I can spy some. There they are. There's a 10. Right, so now that we've got this will be our last warm-up set because we're working up to 127.5. So, 27.5. Let me just double check that is the correct weight that I'm working up to. Yes, it is, for 4 to 5 reps. Minus 20, divided by 2, minus 40, minus 10, 3.75. Okay, last warm-up. Okay, good. Our movement between eccentric and concentric is looking pretty good. So we are aiming for that for 4 reps with obviously a little bit more weight on. But let's talk about a few other things that we got going on. So,
boobies.
Later in the let's bring you guys.
I was thinking about my wife.
So that is the kind gentleman who has helped me work on my technique. He's the coach who I said about in my very first video, helped me with the change between the eccentric and the concentric, and we had a big chat about that. So just check literally the first video if you want that. But other things that we've got going on. I do feel like a lot of my work is helping my injuries, which I do have many of, but one of the most intentional things you can do, well, one of the things that you should do with injuries is be intentional. I think intentionality is really quite a good thing. Obviously I got a bit caught up in the intentionality because I was doing a lot of pause work when I could have been doing more just like lifting heavier. Because again, lifting heavy will build you, a robust body, provided you're lifting sensibly. I'm definitely not lifting at a weight that is too much. If I had maybe 5 plates on, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, hold on now. But I'm nowhere near that. So that's a long ways out for me. In other news, my hair is black, as I've already said. That's because convention this weekend, which I'm super excited about. Any other awesome stuff going on at the moment? Lots of new stuff on Patreon, which is super, super awesome. We've got video commissions now, which is fucking awesome stuff, dude. So now I'm a model and a pack opening channel, which is kind of funny. Always got to support your dreams, everyone. Like, be so for real. If you like something, no matter what it is, if you can make it monetizable, please just do it. Just do it. You deserve a little bit of you know, fun in all this. Like, you specifically, you deserve a little bit of fun. And for me, that's that's this, which is awesome. So thank you guys so much. In any case, we're going to rest up now and then get into the main body of this set. We're going for 1 set. 4 reps is what we're aiming for, because we previously failed that a few times. So 4 reps is the aim. That's what we've set our goal to, and we'll go from there. This is last official week of the deficit, I suppose. So far, it's kind of already finished, but we'll see. Let's say that this is the first week of the maintenance, shall we say. Awesome stuff. Let's go. It's go time. So we have 127.5 kilos loaded on the bar. We're aiming for 4 reps. Oh, you guys are stuck. Well, we're unable to get 4, but we're working back up to it. And I'm gonna be so honest, that felt so much better than lifts I've done previously. And I just think that when I get more calories in my body, that'll, well, that'll be quite something. Now, we've got 1 more that we're gonna do. Hopefully just get another rep out. And then that'll be the end of the squats. Oh. We're done. Le fini. It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, that was very good. I'm very happy about that. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the hold the push, but I'll be honest with you, getting that last rep was more than enough for me. So, yeah, I'm very happy about that. Let's stop the music so I can hear my thoughts. What did we do well there? First of all, I did feel like I felt, pretty upright, especially after the first rep. The first rep I had my eyes looking down and I noticed it. So I brought my eyes up to forwards rather than down. Immediate change in the quality of my lifting. But, I'm gonna need to be more cognitively aware of that and probably, well, actually definitely cue it into my warm-ups so that we're a little bit more on the ball with that. Another thing that'll be really important is, continuing to develop that grit to push through the super tough reps. There is definitely a world, as there always is after you've done something, where that 4th rep was fought for. I did not feel like it was going to be successful. But that's a loser mentality. So I need to work that out of the system so that I can hopefully make more progress over more time. But squats is something that I've been, hitting roadblocks on pretty consistently because I've got lots of leg injuries, in my opinion, and also because squats are such a mentally demanding thing. When you're under the bar, under that kind of weight, and you've been going for a few reps, even if it's only 2 or 3 reps, you feel it. You really do. So working on that grit will definitely help. But I'm very happy with the set. That's 3 reps, looking to push for 4 next week. So I'm super happy about that. And that's all we can really say. So thank you guys, and we'll head on to the next thing. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. We are fully warmed up for these. So let's talk about it. First of all, logbook. Put your fucking squat set in the logbook. I should get it in. It's the only way that you will find that you will understand what you're trying to do is if you log it. So what we've got on here today is is 120 kilos, I believe. 120 kilos. We're looking for 5 reps. I still have a notable amount of discomfort in terms of hinging. So the issue that I have is that on my right side, I feel like I can feel a lot of sensation down the back of my leg. On my left side, I don't feel sensation. So I always feel like I'm having to lean more to my left to feel anything, which is bad because again, as we know, sensation, bad for afferent feedback. So that's why these are a really good exercise in, stabilizing myself, even though obviously you want to make sure every exercise you can do for the purposes of hypertrophy is as stable as possible. This is the reason why I do even 2 sets of hamstring work is so that I can do a set of this and then a set of more stable hamstring work so that I have 2 different components working here. Again, my needs are a little bit different than a lot of just pure, bodybuilders or other athletes, so that's my use case. But for this, we are looking for 5 reps. I will be putting my shoes on, and we will be seeing how we do. Let's see, is there anything else really to note about my technique for this? I don't think so. The differences between straight leg and RDL are biasing either the hamstrings or the glutes. Basically, if you bend your knee in any capacity, hamstring activation falls off a cliff. So, glute activation, not hamstring activation, wrong way around. So, if you go from this position to this, right? Actually, I think I've got that the wrong way around again. My apologies. Let me go from the top. If you go from this, straight leg, glute activation, not as prominent. If you bend your knees, bending your knees, hamstring activation falls off a cliff. I did say that right the first time. So, if you want to have more glute bias work, bend your knees and do RDLs. If you want to have more hamstring bias work, keep your legs straight, do SLDLs. We're doing SLDLs because that's where my injury is. It's in my hamstring. Now, we got prima donna locked and loaded. So let's pull you guys out. Pause. And get ready to lock and load.
Girls got attitude, right? I have no idea about that. How was your ski trip, by the way? Incredible. Maybe the best holiday I've ever had. Nice. With a child.
Do you know what the best of the ski trip with a child?
On the out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Holidays with kids and something. Just run feral all day.
She's fine. Joel Company. Man like that, I don't know fuck what to do. That man's got too many emotional thoughts.
You just go like a venture camp and
Yeah, that's true.
Awesome. Again, there's a lot going on with this. First of all, things that I notice, my right arm, the right weight touches the ground before the left weight does. So it means that I am off skew. So again, this is a real thing to look at. Currently, I do feel though the weight is fine. Technique is not though. So we need to keep working on that, which is why this is so useful for me because I can actually see what I'm doing wrong. What I'm feeling is a shift backwards, but again, a lot of sensation down my right side, and it makes me want to like lean or shift to compensate, which I don't think is good. I think the sensation is not necessarily an indicator of me being on more on one leg, but just an injury feedback mechanism. So we'll see. We've got one more of this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was fine. So, in total, again, get the logbook. We ended up getting 5 reps with 2 extras. So 5, 2, 0. There we are.
I almost put half of 157.
Thoughts, again, sort of to work on. It's unfortunate that I have, you know, these sensations. It'd be great if I could just lift, but hey, this is my body. I'm gonna have it for the rest of my life. And if I want it to change, I'm gonna have to be very intentional about that. So, that's what we're doing here. In terms of the set itself, I think it was fine. I think the stretch was pretty good. I think that our depth was really good. I think our tempo was really good. But as long as I have these extra things that I'm thinking about, that are more than just move the weight, my technique will never be the best. So that's what I'm gonna need to keep working on. But, you know, that's exciting. It is, after all. Pardon? Yeah.
If you want, you can leave that there.
Awesome stuff, I will.
Super, make sure life easier too.
Yeah, we've just been going from one to the next. Perfect. Do you want me to leave that on? Take one off?
Just take one of the 20s on, but the rest you like that.
Sweet, yeah.
So I'm just going to stick one of the 20s back on.
Yeah, cool.
And you can leave the plate right there.
Awesome stuff. Sounds good. Well, I hope I got some of that interaction. One of the wonderful things about being in a lifting gym like this, you know, getting to interact with other people and just, you know, see what everyone else is up to. So I was sharing my weight there with some other people. Well, not sharing my weight, but rather I finished up with my set and someone else was in what I just used and wanted to move into my thing. I was like, yeah, awesome stuff. So saves time, saves effort, all that kind of stuff, which is a great thing about being in an awesome gym community. But yeah, let me turn this off. My SLDLs, they're fine. They need some work, but again, the most important thing is that I'm continuing to progress with them, and if that progression comes in better technique, that's also a good thing, because that's a real priority with this. And the reason why we even have this extra hamstring exercise is to really make sure that that is a priority, so that I'm able to hit the hamstrings and basically the short, I think, that is still the length position, but oops, get 2 sets of hamstring work. Now, one of the thoughts I have had is changing that to an RDL or just removing the SLDL entirely. The reason why I'd consider that is that this would probably be sufficient, but I really like a hinging pattern. So I'm keeping it in for now, but if time restraints pick back up when I'm back on my normal schedule, then we'll change it. And that'll be the reason. Now, we're gonna do our little warm up for this and we're taking a really long break. But I'll let you guys in on what we're doing here. We should be working up to 55. So we won't need to do too much work here, but I do want to do a super light variation real quick before we get into anything else. Again, focusing on speed of contraction. Good. That's all you need to do for that. Again, I've just come from a set, like literally just come from a set. So I don't want to be overexerting myself, just accumulating fatigue for no reason. But what I do want to do is just some very intentional reps in this movement pattern before I get into my main thing. Cool. That's what I'll do for that. And again, there is some redundancy here. So we've done a set of hamstring work. We don't really need to do another set. But again, it's a weakness, and also I don't have hamstring work throughout the rest of the week now. So that's why I'm choosing to do 2 sets today. With things like quads, I do this and I do my sissy squats. With glutes, I do squats, I do the sus machines. With calves, I do front calf, back calf. Even though that's not necessarily calf, I do, tibialis gastro. So I pair things up. If I had 3 leg days, then I wouldn't do 2 today. I'd do another hamstring work, and I'd probably do some more glute work again on a separate day. But hey, here we are. This is the limitations I've imposed upon myself. I don't do this full time. This is a luxury. So I'm treating it like a privilege, and this is what I get to use my time to do. And so far it's okay. Again, coming out of a calorie deficit, we'll have a few stumbling points, but on the whole, as long as movements are good, progress is steady, and hopefully a bit consistent, we'll be good. And that'll be the metrics to check now that we come out of the calorie deficit. Is my progress happening? First and foremost, like, am I starting to pick up pace like I was before? And how is my technique looking? So we'll check that in a little bit. But now we're taking a nice long rest before we get into some later stuff. So let's see, is there anything else I need to cover for this? This is also, by the way, still a very new exercise for me to implement into my routine. I am enjoying it, but again, we do have some redundancy here. So I don't think I have anything else to chat about, so I'm going to rest up and get into it in a little bit. Rightio, ladies and gentlemen, it is go time. For those of you who've never seen me do this before, there's going to be a lot of noises, so trigger warning for that, I suppose, but we're looking for, let's do a check. We are looking for 5 reps if we can. It's 52.5 kilograms, not 55, I was incorrect. And this is pretty heavy, so, we'll see how we go. Looking for slow eccentrics, explosive concentrics, you know the deal. We've got Unleashed by Dizzy 8. Absolutely influential, inspirational, but it is influential song. Helped me deal with a lot of the fixing the addiction process last year. Still work in progress, but I do credit this song to the getting out of the pits. So let's get into it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, fucking hell. Not quite a full 5, but we did get a bit of 5 movement. Holy moly, though. One of the things that I do find a little bit difficult with this is that there is a little bit of a, you have to raise the weight out a little bit before you can start contracting. And I often find those first 2 reps, I have to readjust where my hips are. But I think that's going to come with a bit of familiarity. I'll get better at that. Now we're looking for 1 more good rep. So if I can get that, that's fucking excellent. I remember this is 2nd set of hamstring curls, and I've waited 5 minutes, but there's a good chance I should have rested for much, much longer. This is one of the limitations of doing multiple sets of the same muscle group is that you waste a lot of effort if you don't fully recover, and it's often quite difficult to fully recover. So, it's up to you if you want to do those sets, but for me, I usually just stick to one. Right, let me pull you guys just to the side a little bit so I don't accidentally eat you guys while I'm down there. Pause, hold on, what the fuck? Oh shit, that's good. That's what we're looking for. That's the money shot. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a job well done. Oh man. And there's nothing really to to unpack or deload here, so we are quite officially done here. Now, I did say that we weren't going to record any let me grab my head real quick. There we go. We weren't going to record my plantar work, but we'll see. I mean, the gym is not that busy, so even though the camera angle is a little bit awkward, we may give it a whirl. But for this, very, very happy. Again, that extra rep really sold me that the set was valuable, because I got some really good work in that top position. Now, you guys will also notice, this may be excessive, but I really curl myself around. Like, my hips come kind of off of the bench. I'm not sure this is a bench, the support, because I really want to get to that full contraction point, where like the weight is like touching my butt if I can. That may be excessive, but I feel like that's full range of motion. If that's not full range of motion, I don't know what is, but, well, it's pretty obvious, you just do a little bit less. But I feel like getting through that full range of motion should help me with my injury. Do I have any evidence to back that up? Absolutely none. So if it doesn't work, we'll stop doing it. That being said, moving on to the next thing, so off we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we were able to get a little spot here. We're wrapping up the session now. We're gonna be doing some plantar work, and then we're gonna finish up with our abdominal work. For those of you who aren't familiar with this, if you've got knee pain, man, all I'm gonna say is this. I had knee pain, and I was doing these, and then I got decent at doing these, and now I don't have knee pain. So that's all I'll say. Now, this is really heavy. This should be 16 kilograms. It is. We're looking to get this for 2 reps. It's very, very heavy. So let's give it a try. Close. Okay. Because these don't take that long, we're gonna go one leg to one leg and then finish up. Okay, that was substantially more difficult. Okay. We'll talk a lot more about this afterwards, but there is no in-between between the 14 and the 16, and that's unfortunate. Good. Okay. And last one. Okay, that's everything for the not calf raises, the tibialis raises. So there is no difference, there is no, there is no in between 14 and 16. And I know that may not sound like a lot, 2 kilograms, right? It's just one of these little plates here, but let me tell you, if progress is made in 1.25 kilogram plates, that's a fucking lot of progress. So my dilemma currently is that I can do about 6 of these. So I do about 6 reps with the 14, but I can barely eke out 2 with the 16. And I found that a lot with a lot of things. So going from the 20 kilogram preacher curl to the 22.5 kilogram preacher curl, I went from 6 reps to 2 reps. So it is consistent for me at the very least. So, you know, it's kind of a toss-up of which one I want to do. I could keep trying to progress to 12s, up to maybe like 8 or 12 reps, but for now I want to get my teeth into the 16s. Now then, we got one last thing to do here, abdominal work. We've got 4 kilograms, we're looking for 4 reps. Don't know if we'll get it, but we shall see. Let's tuck you guys around because I don't want to swallow you.
Unless you do millions of press-ups for nerves, there's nothing that hits those muscles like directly. So yeah. How would you feel about being used really? Well, I thought on Saturday. I don't think I no. No, I didn't. You manage.
Good. We will do one more of those reps in a moment, but that's 4. That's impressive. Now, in my little break here, I'm gonna use my logbook. So we did dorsiflexions. We did just under 2. We did an extra 1, and then we did an extra 1 eccentric. So 16, 2, 1, 1. And now we've done 4 abdominal, so I've already got that in. That was my goal. And now we're going to do 1 more, if we can. Good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's everything. Top to bottom, everything that we got for today. So, thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys on the walk home, okay? All right there, ladies and gentlemen, we have finished up for the day, and it's been a good while stretching out as well, really getting into the roots and the grooves of my musculature. But today was a really good session. Did we progress on everything? No, but that doesn't mean it was a bad session. Again, this is all an experience, and you know, it's a learning journey about taking care of yourself, you know, managing stress, working through injuries, healing. All those kinds of things are super, super important. And it's important not to get lost in the fact that our ability to show up counts for something. Your ability to show up will also count for something. Not every session needs to be the best thing you've ever squatted, lifted, pressed, whatever it may be, hinged. But finding the value that you can get from every session that you do is really quite a nice thing. You know, from this session, we learned from squats that we're looking to hit that 4 rep mark again for 127.5. And although we have not gone up in weight and we have dropped a little bit in repetitions, just like 1 or 2 reps, which is substantial, we haven't dropped weight, which is really good, because I know when I was doing these previously, when I was on my previous, calorie deficit, I did drop weight. So that was, something to bear in mind. I suppose we technically have dropped weight if you count that, we wanted to keep 5 reps, let's say, then we'd have to drop down weight, but I digress. That's been, a nice little side effect of this. We also are, I believe, lifting more weight than we were on our last calorie deficit, though I don't quite remember. I feel like I was only able to get to the 2.5 kilo plate last time, and then even then I was only doing like 1 or 2 reps. I think I was doing 2 reps, if I remember correctly. So we are, pushing for that 4th rep at 127.5. I feel like I was only hitting like 100 and, I don't know, maybe 20, like even. I think that's what I was at previously. So this is a really, really nice increase. For the hinges, lots to think about there, but again, we'll see what we actually want to do with them. Today's technique was good. It was good, so I'm happy with that. Some nice stretching as well, so I'm feeling pretty good. The lying down curls were also very excellent. We weren't quite able to get the full range that you'd normally, I'm looking for that 5th rep or even the 4th rep, but that's okay, because again, that's kind of a bit hyper extended, I think, or hyperflexed. Be hyperflexed, hyperextension of the lower back, and I'm not exactly sure that's a great thing, but again, I know that when I do that full contraction, I get all the way up, so the machine's touching my butt. The eccentric that comes afterwards feels quite good. Now again, I know sensation, but it feels good, so I'm gonna keep doing it for now. Last 2 exercises, tibialis raise. I'm just saying, man, I used to have knee pain, like in both knees, and I do not currently have knee pain. Now, yes, I'm not doing gymnastics or acrobatic stuff, and I know that if I do those things, that they do still hurt the same amount that they normally do. But I don't have persistent knee pain, which is super fucking nice. That is just, that's a luxury. Hopefully we can work through the other things as well. But, building that kind of resiliency doesn't come from the super flashy exercises, I didn't build a robust knee by squatting heavy. I built it by doing little flicks with a weight on the end of my ankle. So that's something to bear in mind. So for me, if I want to heal up my ankle, heal up my hip, my shoulder, there's a good chance that the way to heal it isn't doing overhead press, hinges and squats. It's likely doing banded knee work, or getting a kettlebell and holding my knee at 90 for my hips. It's probably doing some rotator cuff or isometric or other holding of weights in positions that are quite difficult or tense, because people think that tension is a strength thing. It is not. Tension is where you're weak. So where you're tight, that's where you're weak, because if you're tight in a place, it means you can't freely access that place. So think about this. If you're tight and you can't touch your toes, that means you've got tight hamstrings. Would that mean that you have strong hamstrings? No, because you can't access that range of motion. So you can't possibly have strong hamstrings in that range of motion, because you can't access it. You can only be strong in what you can access. And if you can't access it, you're not strong in it. So for instance, if you have tight shoulders or tight pecs, or you struggle to get your arms overhead, whatever it may be, that's not like, you're not tight, and it's not like your muscles are, they're so tight, they're so bundled up. No, you're just weak. You're just weak. That's okay. Something to work on. If you think about like an old person and how they struggle to like get their arms above their head like this, and they can only do like this. They've got a tight back muscles. That doesn't mean their back is strong. Their back is weak because they can't protract, move their back in the proper way. And that's just amplified when it comes to things like hamstrings or quads or whatever it may be. So tightness is a very good sign that you need to work on that thing. But today's session's been excellent. So thank you guys so much. We'll do a bit of a pose down when we get home. But I think today's session has been really wonderful. I'm looking forward to editing it. So hope you guys are well. I hope to see some of you guys at Birmingham Comic-Con. Why am I acting like the video's over? We still got a little bit more to go. So I'll catch you in a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen. End of week 2, day 1. We've had a really good session today. Let's wrap it up nice and with a bow. Let's do some posing of the old Legarooskas. As you can see, legs are looking real. We got a sock on the floor, man. What's going on over there? Legs, I mean, they're looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, just at base form. Not that bad. Not that bad at all. I remember pretty well that when I was at this point previously, my legs were quite a bit more lean, which is fair. I believe that I potentially still got around the same amount of mass in my legs in terms of like fat mass, but the muscle mass has increased to the distribution is probably about the same. That's my working hypothesis, supported by the fact that I'm actually lifting more weight as well. So let us do some posing, shall we? Let's have a see here. Let's see the old adductors. Yes, adductors. That's this piece right here. Whew. Okay. Let's see those calves as well. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Again, do calf raises. They can and will grow. You just need to train them like you do any other muscle. Train them to failure. Train them hard, train them heavy, all that kind of stuff. Let's see the old hamstrings. Let's see if I can pull you guys over a little bit. There we go. Okay, no separation, but that's okay. I wonder actually, can you see? We got a big glute up there. I wonder if we can see where my injury is. Yeah, so by the way, guys, this is the side which I have my injury on. And just look around here, I suppose. I want to see if there's potentially... So you see that? That's, I think, what the issue is. Let's have a look again. Again, that to me looks like just muscle moving, but what's interesting is, look how much more prominent it is on my, this is my right leg here, by the way. This is my left leg. That's really interesting. Anyway, last little bit, right up here. There we go. Wonderful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. That'll conclude today's session and all of the work that we have done. So truly, thank you guys so much. I hope you're enjoying this. As always, stay well, stay safe, look after yourself. Work hard, train hard, eat well, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.